Gentlemen and ladies, it is time for our grand final of Weekendwage number 14. In the bottom right, we have the Midnight Green Zerg of Hamster, and on the top left, we have ArbuzBudesh, the Green Zerg. Midnight Green versus Green, and somehow it's not too bad of a color combo. Pool for both players. It looks like it might have been a 6 pool here for Arbuz, funnily enough. He does like to 6 pool when he plays Zerg. But Hamster going to be going for that 8 pool, shall we say. I realized earlier, by the way, that I was looking at the Arbuz AOT set, and I was casting that for the Tribunal stage, and that was to get Arbuz qualified over to the Battlement stage of Acropolis 4. It's very cool that Arbuz managed to make it over. It was a 5-game set. It was really awesome to see AOT play up to a higher level as well. Shows that he could very well qualify into the next Tribunal. But one thing that Arbuz kept doing was a 6 pool, and I kept saying AOT will do the 8 pool, and instead it was like a 7. That's because for the spectator, it shows a different number. It doesn't show in progress units as completed by default. So I did realize that, and I thought, that's actually kind of bad for... maybe I should invert that, right? So I flip it. I think it's a config option I can do. But anyway, just something I just remembered. So if you guys have been watching and you're like, didn't you say it was a 7 pool, and didn't it say 7 when the pool went down? It was actually an 8 pool technically. It's just I've got spectator numbers instead of player numbers. Now, one thing that's weird is that Hamster is mining 1 on gas and 2 on ridge. 1 on geyser, 2 on ridge. That's not intentional. I almost said that's a bug, but Hamster is not an AI, so there you go. He fixed the bug, boys. Now they are cross spawn, and it looks like Arbuz confirms this and cancels out his pool upgrade. So he's going to do something a little bit different here and just play a little bit more macro-oriented. And Hamster, he's still figuring out where his opponent is. So he's getting his second Larvosk. Both players are, in fact. Nice. Pops the Zeth before it can scout much of anything. Maybe it saw the pool, but it doesn't matter. He already saw the Quaz. I guess it matters in the sense that he would see that it's not a Vornath, right? Very fast Shroud here. Something Arbuz said before is that at current high level ZVZ, what you end up seeing a lot of the time is a rush, sort of a Ultra Core rush, like a race to that tech. But Arbuz is going for the Vornath Pond and an Ovaleth besides, probably to drop. Maybe he can get some Zets in, pick the Larvosk, that kind of thing. These are very vulnerable, particularly in ZVZ. But the Shroud is halfway complete for Hamster, and he's going to go for a faster expansion. No, about the same time, actually. They're both definitely thinking like each other, that's for sure. And this Zeth is actually in perfect position to scout that out, too. So they know that, well, Arbuz knows that his opponent is in step with him. This Zeth just kind of patrolling around the Ovaleth is not dropping anything, funnily enough, so won't be seeing anything else. Three pairs of Nathracores on the way for Arbuz. That's a cute little move. We've got 3 Lakas for Hamster. Oh, the Ovaleth has scouted the Zeth. I don't know if Hamster sees it though. he's busy. He's not paying attention to that right now. Oh, he found it. Pesky little spy. Worker count a little bit higher here for Hamster. Obviously that means that we've got other units here for Arbuz and military focus instead of that economic one. Hatches have popped on both sides, and we do indeed have what looks to be like the Ovaleth going to clear some space or scout some stuff around. And the Naths are going to be looking for other entries. Oh, look at that. He's actually going to spy this Ovaleth. Beautiful. Every single Zeth blown up there in the blink of an eye. Did he see that with something, or was that just blind luck? I missed it, I think. Hydra's down on the way, so Hamster's going to have tier 1 base tech for everything. Meanwhile, Arbuz going for that Apex Vornath. Clearly, he wants to make some calcs. So, Hamster sees the Nathracores kill his Ovaleth. He does not unload in time, but he knows that it was Naths, so he should be aware, and he puts his Quaz over here. You know, especially when the gnats pop in like this. I think if it takes a little bit, there's got to be like an internal clock running for him. Like a minute has to go by, and then he needs to put down Spraiths. I wouldn't hate if he just put them down preemptively anyway. Because Calculisks, they just annihilate Quasilisks. It's not really easy to try to get into an attack force, an attack way that way. So, problem for Hamster right now is he just doesn't really have any vision on what his opponent is doing. But there's the lake, and so now we're going to have those Calcs. Only 3 of them get made so far. The gas not allowing more than a little bit there, but pretty soon going to have them. Interesting that he pivots into the ski back. Like, he made the Shroud mostly just for Leikas and the single Zoryus. Here come the Calcs. The Ovaleth is here to reveal burrowed workers. Very limited amount of time for these Quas to get much action here. There's no Spraith, and none coming either. I guess if he pops the Ovaleth, he can do something at least, but yeah. He's only now actually putting down the Kagrin. Quads are going to try to just sort of throw their bodies at the problem until the Spraith actually finishes. 8 Skithrakors on the way. Hamster's going to go on the offensive. Dude, I love Hamster. He's so cool. He doesn't pop the Ovaleth, so he can't burrow trap them. There's the Spraith coming. It's not going to cover the Eskagant, though. Like, they've got good range. Don't get me wrong, but... Oh my god, he made 5 more. What a madman. Spraith finishes up. So, like, on the one hand, right, this looks pretty good. If I'm in Hamster's shoes, I'm strongly considering flying across the map with these instead of showing them too early. But he's going to show them all right, and they are just going to eviscerate the Calcs. I'm just kind of surprised there was no micro at all there from Arbuz, but he's got a lot of Lyra. They have some limited splash. Zeth attacking the hatch there on the third base. We've got 13 Skithrakors and more being morphed. So that's going to be a spooky amount of them, I think. Third base on both sides, by the way. They really are keeping in step with each other. I like it. And it looks like he's actually going to attack this base instead of anything else, which is an interesting choice. I don't really think that the... Like, you can't fight the Skits here. You need the... You definitely need the Lyra for the splash damage that they have. Okay, he's making a bunch more. I was going to say, that army definitely couldn't step to them. We never see this kind of interaction happen where the Lyras are actually useful for their anti-air attack. Like, we never really get to see that, so it's very cool to see. Skit's obviously posturing up here. Maybe they'll go ahead and fly in. He's got 16. He has invested a lot of money into them, to be fair. Go ahead and try to pick a couple of workers. Ends up picking 2 and then falls away. Loses 1 Skit so far. Okay, looks like the pivot away from this point is going to be Backdols for Hamster. He's going to try to defeat the Lyralisks that way. Not a bad idea. Backdols struggled versus armor, but Lyras only have 1 armor. So that's a pretty good move there. Man, there's so many minerals for Hamster. He needs to put down like 4 hatches, and it looks like he's going to do at least half of that as he tries to get more Vespene from his third base. Better saturation so far for Arbuz, who has sort of stretched out ahead in the worker count. It's funny, I think he maybe killed like 1 worker down here with the Calcs, but it definitely threw Hamster for a loop. I actually don't mind this sort of formation when you're fighting against Lyra, by the way. I think Skits can fight against Lyra if you are able to split. But it has to be like that amount. It has to be like even number. It can't be anything else, because Skits are not... Like, part of the reason why Skits are so good versus units is not because they're individually good damage. They've got 4 damage that goes towards an enemy, and then back. It does 4 damage on the return. Sort of like a lake is dealing splash damage along the way. But if you can't stack them up, you can't do a lot of damage. And you can't stack them up versus Lyra because their anti-air does splash. So Pretty good. Lake is going to go ahead and get burrowed over here. Bactals show themselves as well. Oh yeah, these forces are not going to be able to do the runaround that Arbuz was hoping for. He is making the Zozark, and not only is he doing that, but he's adding a couple of Ultra Cores to his army already. I mean, with the Zorius coming, the Armor End should be pretty good, but... Oh my god, look at this! He's got the Lakis burrowed! What a weird sequence! Yeah, I think he's just going to end up losing all of these, and the rest of the army isn't moving forward, so... I liked that idea in theory, but the Lakis needed to go all the way and attack the worker line, and there just weren't that many workers there. That's a cool idea, but I don't know if it worked out in this particular sequence. The Gorge is almost complete. I think mostly going to be seeing that for Zarkava cores more than anything, but we'll see. I mean, actually, at this point, Hamster might have Arbuz's army kind of pinned to a corner here. You can see the Ultra Core count is not very high, so it can and will be focused down, and there it goes. The Skits are actually helping out a lot, clearing out a lot of the Rilla Road cores, and not being attacked by the Lyras gives them a little bit more DPS. Comes in on the right side with more Zoryus, but not really much left. I guess the Bactal count has been reset a lot, so Hamster, as that fight sort of finishes up, Hamster's army has been reduced in size a little bit. He has like a couple of random Lakis burrowed in interesting locations, but he's taken a 4th base. He saturated it, gas capped the ridge. Iral Iris for Arbuz first, despite the expenditure into the Gorge. We don't have a single Apex strain building yet for Hamster. What a weird looking ZVZ, dude. We're seeing all kinds of cool tech. Okay, so the Skits are migrating over to 9 o'clock. We got a little bit of lag here, but that'll resolve itself shortly enough. The Zorius and the Ultra Cores. I mean, again, the count isn't the most stupendous for Arbuz, so it doesn't really feel like going to be enough. Should I cast in slow-mo, do you think? The Arbuz is getting Ultra Cores. He's also going for a Mutat Spire, and our lag is gone, so no further concern there. The Skits are just going to bypass everything over here, and they will end up finding Iral Iris, Mutat Spire, if they care to look around. The Gorge obviously visible. Yeah, and he's going to see the Iris. They're all stacked up, so the Lyras will do a lot of damage to him. They've basically exhausted their usefulness for now. But 13 more Skits are coming, so Hamster still believes in them. He didn't scout the Spire. He knows that the tier 2 is there, but that's about it. His own Olgorg is about to finish. Got okay saturation at the 3rd base. Very minimal at the 4th for minerals. But he's got a lot of minerals, so maybe it doesn't matter. And he's just, once again, kind of walking up to that 3rd base. His Skip stack actually scouts the army up here. He can just walk in. He doesn't know it yet, but he can just walk in. Instead, he wants to take a more measured approach. Wants to go for an army fight instead of trying to force any other issues. 16 Mutalisks are on the way. Ultra Cores. Once again, a much better count this time, actually, for Arbuz, but still, the Hydra count is more than enough to deal with this. He ends up losing 2 of them in the fight. One of them is very low. And that was a much better fight for Hamster, it has to be said. A lot of Skits were made, remember, and they can help deal with the Mutas. So even though we have a decent number of Mutas, we got an equivalent number of Skits waiting in the wings. Hamster hasn't actually pulled the trigger to engage. His Lakers are off to the left-hand side. He needs to win this fight overwhelmingly, or he is not going to win it at all. But the Skits are annihilating the Mutas. It wasn't even close on that side without the Lakers even helping on the ground. Hamster still just crushes through with tier 1. And Arbuz, I think he chose poorly when it came to those options that he had. Now this 3rd base is under attack. Hamster has the 4th. He's got a 5th in the bottom left natural coming online. We're entering into that 15-minute mark, and it seems like that's where these games between these two players come to a head. The Synchralisks will beat back the Skips. Their splash damage doing wonderfully there, but that is a Pyrrhic victory. Saw only from the POV of utter disaster striking from that 3rd base. 1 Ultra Core egg remains, by the way. That's pretty funny. You can see the Sentinels are pretty good. They're pretty good units. But it doesn't matter that much. Got more skits coming in. Again, this 5th base has been set up, although no units at it just yet. I love the Khaz'it at the 3 o'clock. And it looks like Hamster is going for the Hydra surround. He's got his own Ultra Core. GG's going to be called as the last of Arbuz's units are vanquished. His army has been melted. Hamster takes game 1. A beautiful ZVZ. And Arbuz is going to... They're both doing it! Yes! Hamster, the Periwinkle Zerg in the bottom right, deep in fact. Arbuz, the Blood Zerg in the top left. They are both 6-pooling each other. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a 6-pool off. Who 6-pools who better? We're about to find out. I'm just like, I'm silent for a moment. I'm thinking really deeply about these players and their 6-pooling and how Arbuz does it every game and Hamster occasionally will do it. Like, I haven't asked Arbuz why he always 6-pools. Like, he hasn't played a game as Zerg where he hasn't 6-pooled. It's so wild. Repairs the Zeths on both sides. It's going to be a Zeth off. Not even a Quaz off. I mean, yeah, at this point, people have really decided not to go for Quaz. Hamster's a little bit better at that larva trick, though. You can tell he's actually done the larva trick, so he's got the extra pair of Zeths here for the fight. Is that going to be super consequential? I mean, when you're talking about these few units, it could be. This is like the closest thing that Cosmonarchy ZVZ has to like the overdetermined Zergling Muta combo in Starcraft 1 ZVZ. Oh, he still could go Arbuz's way here. He's got to be careful. Yeah, he ends up trading 2 for 2 there. Blow for blow so far. What's he got behind this? He's just making 2 pairs of Zeths. Hamster on the other side has just been making workers, it looks like. Yeah, he's just going to Larvosk creep towards his ramp, it looks like. Could get right on top of the egg to kill the units as they pop out, but not a feature that many people know about. He actually picks 2 workers and leaves. He hasn't lost a single Zeth? What? Dude. Form is temporary, class is permanent. Get the fuck out of here. That's so absurd. There's no way Hamster's supposed to do that. I can't believe it. Well, Arbuz, you're going to have to show us a little something here. 4 pairs of Quaz are in production at various stages of completion. Looks like he'll have them just in time here to avoid taking any significant damage. I think Arbuz will continue playing it out. If this wasn't a tournament game in the grand final of Weekendwage, I would forgive somebody just deciding to say GG here. But, I mean, I would forgive it anyway, honestly. That's pretty hopeless. He even tried it, despite seeing the Quaz. Yeah, not quite on his game today. I can't believe he did that. That's impressive. So he's got the larva advantage, right? For now. The second larva is about to pop. But worker advantage by 2. Those 2 that he killed. It's not actually as hopeless as maybe I made it seem. You can play back from these deficits, but Hamster should be feeling pretty confident at the very least. He doesn't even need all of his Quaz. Look, he's kept a couple of back here. Yeah. He'll scramble in to fight now. Breaking up the ramp is going to be a tall order. You know, he doesn't have any Vorvs for extra damage sponging. No. I don't think he'll actually be able to do that, but he can set up a soft contain, deny the expansion, and go for his zone here. I don't think Arbuz is feeling like expanding anytime soon. He's actually getting a Shroud on 1 base instead. I mean, as Hamster, I think you scout this. You poke up the ramp and see what's going on. He's actually going to see if he can stand and fight. I mean, Arbuz is not choosing to back away a little bit. And Kite, oh my god, he's actually letting him in. Oh my god, there's a lot of Zerg here. Hamster going after the Larvosk in the mineral line, and the Drolet's pulled because they thought they were the target. That's not the case. Now the Larvosk... Oh my god, both of them could have gone down there in a second, but instead it looks like Hamster's just going to stand and fight. I think he's done it, boys. He's just got way too many units. GG is called. Hamster is crowned Weekendwage champion. And that was just a nasty ZVZ, dude. Oh, man. Utter disgust. I didn't even get a chance to update the overlay. It was so fast. But that was indeed near impact. And we have a 2-0 in favor of Hamster. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for Weekendwage number 14. It was a fast one. It was a quick one. We had some very cool games nonetheless. And I hope to see you guys in 2 weeks for another one. Peace.